Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Integration Insights webinar, whereby we look at the integration between BGL, both Simple Fund and Simple Fund 360, to Auditflow, and we're going to look at how the two software products integrate, how that assists you in populating your audit file and creating a very efficient, high-quality audit file in the process, and the efficiencies that can be gained from that process. We're very fortunate to have Daniel Tramatona from BGL co-presenting today's webinar, so welcome, Daniel. The way that we'll run the webinar today is that we'll run through a presentation where Daniel and I will both present various slides, and then we will look at moving into the Auditflow application, and just from a practical perspective, we'll look at how that integration works. We'll look at the process of uploading a trial balance and flowing that through the audit file. So once again, thank you everyone for attending today. Just by way of kicking off, if anyone's having any difficulties viewing our screen or is not hearing us, please just type a message into the chat window, and we can keep a handle on what's going on. Secondly, that if you have any questions, we'll take questions at the end, and we'll take questions via typed messages into the chat window. So any questions that you have that you'd like to be addressed, please just enter that message into the chat window, and we can look at having a Q&A at the end of today's session, and we'll look at answers to those questions. Okay, so Auditflow and Auditflow and BGL. Firstly, for those of you that are new to Auditflow, Auditflow is a cloud-based audit solution, and it's designed to save you time on your audits. But it's designed to do that in a way which in no way compromises the compliance and quality of your audit file. It's a product that's designed for both the administrator and the auditor to be able to work collaboratively in a very efficient way to complete the audit process. Auditflow has an engagement management tool, and to enable you to keep track of the completion statistics across all of your audit files, as well as the activities of your engagement team. It's a cost-effective, very intuitive, scalable application. Auditflow have been in the marketplace now for approximately 6 years. We're an international business with a head office based here in Australia. We promote into the UK in partnership with Iris, who are the largest provider of accounting software to accountants in the UK, where our product is promoted as Iris Open Audit. In Australia, we have strong partnerships with the likes of BGL to ensure that we can provide a very market-focused solution, particularly for self-managed super fund audits into the Australian marketplace. But Auditflow is also a product for a range of audits, from company audits, trust accounts, small entities, not-for-profits, charities as well. I'd like to invite Daniel to address the next few slides, and he'll talk to you a little bit about BGL and the integrations that we have been working on for the last 9 months or so to provide a very tailored solution to the marketplace. Daniel, over to you.
Okay, well, thanks, Greg. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be part of this webinar, and obviously my name is Daniel Tramatona. We've been at BGL since 1997, which was initially when Simple Fund was released. Now, just a few things about BGL, and then I'll talk a little about Simple Fund. We've been around since 1983, and pretty much have been developing and providing solutions in the accounting space for the last 25 years. And we started off our pretty much our position in the market. We started off with a product called CAS, which is our company corporate affairs system, and that is basically used to do the CAS company compliance work for ASIC. It's used by just over 2,000 firms in Australia with nearly 500,000 companies administered on the software, so it's been around for a long time. In 1997 we released a product called SimpleFund, and that pretty much just started off as a new product to the market, which was a Windows-based product. In the first couple of years, we picked up a handful of clients on it, and we worked with them to make sure that we got the product to a point where it needed to get to be able to service the accounting industry in the way that it needed to service the accounting industry. And today, we're pretty much the SMSF software supplier of choice. We've got around about 350,000 funds administered in both SimpleFund Desktop and also SimpleFund 360, which I'll talk a little bit about those later on. But we share about 70% of the market, so we've been in the space for a long time. We know the market very well, and not only do we understand the accountants, we also understand the auditors and everybody else that comes to rely on any data to do with self-managed super funds. Today we have pretty much two products running simultaneously. We've got SimpleFund Desktop, which is probably the product that most of you will be on at this particular point in time. That's still a server-based type product where you install on a server, accessed on many workstations, and has done the job exceptionally well and will continue to be of service to you going forward in the future. Just so people are aware of what we're doing with SimpleFund Desktop, there has been some talk and or discussion as to whether or not we continue with it in future. Just quickly, I'd like to say that yes, we will still continue to support and develop the product. We'll continue to do all the compliance changes to ensure that all the users that want to continue to use SimpleFund going forward have all the necessary reports, compliance changes, etc. made to be able to do the compliance work for self-managed super funds. So there is no discussion about discontinuing that product now and or anytime soon, because a great chunk of our clients still use it. Last year, which was March last year, just over 12 months ago, we released SimpleFund 360. SimpleFund 360 is an entirely different product, so that's pretty much a web-based product. And with SimpleFund 360, whereas in the desktop product you'd be looking at doing a lot of data entry manually and going through the process of doing your compliance work manually, chasing your clients up for information and documentation, in SimpleFund 360 we go a step further and we automate a lot of the processes that we know the accountants would obviously like to automate to introduce efficiencies into their SMSF administration function. So just jump to the next slide. So what we've done is, as part of SimpleFund and SimpleFund 360, BGL and people like Auditflow, we've worked out ways, and we're working with organisations such as Workflow to create synergies to make it easy for our clients to be able to interact with people like Auditflow to be able to extract data and prepare self-managed super funds for audit, etc. Now, there's a bit of a difference between the way SimpleFund works and also the way SimpleFund 360 works, and I'll just run through a little bit about how both the exporting of data works in SimpleFund and then SimpleFund 360. But the good thing that I suppose is underway and is working is that we are starting to see benefits of being able to push this audit data through into Auditflow. It's creating good efficiencies. The feedback has been very good and the process does work well. There's going to be a lot more happening in that space, so insofar as automating a lot more. But with SimpleFund, what we've basically done is we've developed pretty much a streamlined integration. So at the moment, what we're able to do is that from SimpleFund, we are able to do an export of the trial balance into Auditflow. Now, what needs to happen is that when you go to view a trial balance or generate a trial balance, you will be able to export it or save it into an XLS format, and then we're able to take the data from that and create an import automatically into Auditflow, hence preparing that fund for audit. Now, at the SimpleFund product level, basically what does go through is all the chart of account items. So if you've got dividends there may be BHP shares. The totals for those shares will automatically flow through to Auditflow in preparation for audit. Same as all your other trial balance items. It will automatically be picked up as part of the export and go straight into Auditflow. Now, the whole process is very easy to create. It's very easy to work with. Pretty much within moments, you can have that file ready to be brought into Auditflow. And as I said before, the whole process is pretty much automated apart from having to do the export into XLS from the trial balance. One of the other things that we've also introduced, and you can see there it says bulk fund details import. What we've basically done there is that we have a product at BGL called BGL Query. Now what that allows us to do is do an export of the data from Simple Fund into Auditflow, and basically it's a bulk export. And pretty much what that will include is all your standing data for a super fund. So it'll include things like the fund code, the fund name, trustee details, corporate trustee details, ABN, etc. So what we're able to do in order to save time and money is we're able to do a bulk export using BGL Query, and then the data generated from the query can be imported into Auditflow. Now many of you who are listening on the webinar may not be aware of what BGL Query is and or may not have BGL Query. As part of the arrangement of getting your data into Auditflow, BGL will provide you a copy of BGL Query at no cost, and essentially we will just use the product to set up the query and then push the data through to Auditflow. But don't be too concerned about using it or how it works. We will pretty much help you with that. And just know though that standing data for yourself and your super funds, we're able to export whatever it is that Auditflow needs in order to be able to conduct an audit for those particular funds. So with Simple Fund 360, the process is a little bit different. Now at the moment, there's a little bit of manual intervention involved insofar as when you generate the file, what has to basically happen is that we do an XML export of the trial balance. Now that XML export of the trial balance will pretty much include that which is included as part of the Simple Fund one, but it's just in a little bit easier format to generate, because essentially you'll be able to view the trial balance, export an XML, and then bring that into Auditflow in preparation for the audit. So at the moment there's that step that's required to be able to push the data through, which requires some manual intervention. Going forward, what we're basically doing is at this point in time, and Auditflow has started to work with this data, is we've generated, or we've created what we call an API. Now all an API basically is that it's just a method of Auditflow, or a protocol which enables Auditflow to talk to Simple Fund 360. So instead of you having to do an XML export of the trial balance, through the API, Auditflow is able to request data. Simple Fund 360 is able to push out data, which is requested by Auditflow. So pretty much, just think of it as a protocol which allows communication and the exchange of data between Auditflow and Simple Fund 360. Now the way that works, and there's quite a bit of technical stuff involved in developing that, but you don't really need to concern yourself with that, because the working relationship between Auditflow and BGL will ensure that that is just a basic to set up and easy to turn on service, which will allow data to be easily exchanged between the two products. But the beauty about it is that the integration is definitely seamless. It's pretty much just a matter of turning the service on and being able to push that data then through to Auditflow. Now, as part of the data, what we're going to be able to push through is the standing details, which basically includes the fund name, the trustees, the addresses, all that type of information. All the general standing information for a self-managed super fund, we're going to be able to push that through. We'll also be pushing through investment and investment-related transactions, and like, for example, purchases and disposals and stuff which makes up totals on your trial balance. We're going to be able to push through investment-related transactions. And then also we're going to be able to push through a full general ledger. So it really does go a step further than what we've currently got, insofar as we're going to be able to provide more details and specific transactions of exactly what makes up particular totals within a trial balance and or a general ledger item. So at this point in time, we're still in the process of further developing and finalizing the API. That API function is not available at the moment. If you're going to use Simple Fund 360 and Auditflow, it would be done through the current XML export from Simple Fund, or generated from Simple Fund 360 when you look at a trial balance, and then pushed into Auditflow as part of the process. So we'll just jump to the next slide. Now, I'll hand it now back over to Greg, I believe. So thanks for that, Greg, and I'll hand it over to you now.
Daniel, thank you very much for that, and thanks for providing that detailed background and understanding as to just what's going on behind the scenes at a fairly rapid rate in terms of really developing that integration with the 360 product, which we're very excited about and looking forward to be able to release it to both ours and your users. Daniel's provided a very good background there in terms of how the integrations work and what gets transferred into your audit file. I'd just like to pick up on that now, and we'll very quickly move into Auditflow, and we can have a look and demonstrate just firsthand how those integrations work and how they populate the audit file and just the simplicity of the process. The Auditflow BGL integration provides a number of key benefits to the auditor and the administrator, and in terms of what Daniel's talked about, we're looking to really eliminate the duplication of data entry. We're looking to eliminate paper documentation where we can, and the need for the auditor to go searching via an external third party for supporting documents, or from being required to download, print, scan, upload documents. We're really looking for that easy exchange of information and documentation between applications, which can save so much time in the audit process, but also for the administrator, who in most cases is preparing that work paper file for the auditor in the first instance. So it's instant audit file population, and then it's very easy collaboration between the administrator and the auditor to complete the file. Integration, as we've discussed, we're looking for all of those fund details, the client list, and populating that directly into Auditflow. The trial balance and having that information flow through to work papers within the audit file. And as Daniel's also mentioned, the ability to then be able to query the more detailed general ledger and have access to a range of other supporting documents. So dynamic creation of lead schedule summaries, auto-population of work papers, auditor and administrator collaborating. So let's have a look at Auditflow, and let's just see how that all works. So within Auditflow, for those of you that are not familiar with Auditflow, when you log into Auditflow, you're greeted by the Auditflow dashboard, which provides a range of really convenient tools for you to manage the progress of your audit files and track the activities of your staff via activity feeds, your files, where we can have a look at what's going on within our audit files, their progress, not started, in progress or complete, and manage review points across our audit files. But both the auditor and the administrator have access to a range of functions that are now enable them to firstly create an audit file. So let's create an audit file, and then we can see just how quickly we can populate that audit file and upload a trial balance. So we'll create a fund very quickly. We'll create the new audit file. And Auditflow provides a very simple, easy to follow, easy to understand audit file structure consisting of a working paper index, which is a series of folders akin to the dividers in your lever arch file. If we click on a folder, we can reveal all of the work papers and programs from an audit perspective, all contained within this audit file. A workflow diagram which provides you with a detailed roadmap and task list to guide you through the completion of your audit. Simply click on the link connected to a task in your task list and complete the work paper. And thirdly, the working trial balance, and this is the starting point for integration. So from the working trial balance, we have a range of import trial balance options. Now the first option we're going to look at is import a BGL CSV. Within Auditflow, we provide a downloadable Excel template which makes it very easy for you to copy and paste an Excel trial balance into our template file and very quickly create a CSV file which is fully mapped and can be uploaded into the audit file. Now I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on this because it literally only takes 2 minutes to complete the import process and using our template. So if we just quickly open the template in Excel that we provide within Auditflow, and it consists of a number of tabs. On our final tab here, we've got an example of a BGL simple fund trial balance that has been exported in an XLS format. And all we need to do is do a copy and paste. So we're going to do a Control-C on that trial balance. I'm going to paste it into my BGL trial balance export tab with a Control-V. And the result in my next tab along, the Auditflow TB import tab, is a fully mapped trial balance. I'm then going to save that trial balance as a CSV. So I'm going to select a CSV format and save that file. Well, I've already got one saved there. I'm going to replace that. Just click OK and yes to a couple of default questions there. And I've saved my CSV file and it's now ready to import into BGL. So if I now come back to Auditflow and I browse and I find that CSV file, and I'm going to open it into my audit file. Select Upload, and it populates into my audit file. I'm going to confirm some column mappings, click Next, and I've populated my audit file. Okay, so that I think you can see there that it's a very quick process to upload a trial balance into Auditflow, and then upload process then creates a number of financial folders as well as dynamically generates all of the lead schedules and lead schedule summaries within your audit file based on the contents of that trial balance. Okay, I'm going to come back to that trial balance. But those of you that are using BGL Simple Fund 360, I'd just like to demonstrate how quick and easy it is to import an XML file as well if you're using the 360 product. So if I go into an existing audit file here, I'm just going to go to Working Trial Balance, and once again I'm going to import a trial balance, and we can actually re-import a trial balance into a file as many times as we like as we go through the process of completing the audit. It's not going to negatively impact on any of the audit work that's been completed. It's simply going to update the trial balance with updated numbers. So import BGL Simple Fund, and once again we can just browse and we can find an XML file. So I've got a range of XML files here that is once again as a standard import from Auditflow. I can simply select that XML file and similarly upload it directly into my audit file. So once again, BGL Simple Fund 360, a very quick process to upload that trial balance. We can see here in orange, establish connection to BGL Simple Fund 360, which is really just preempting the next step in our integration, which is not too far away, where we can direct connect to BGL Simple Fund 360 from within Auditflow and provide you with a range of options for adding data to your audit file. Okay, so let's go back into the Summer Trust Fund audit file that we created earlier, and we've uploaded a trial balance. And what does that do to the audit file? Well, the answer is that it dynamically creates content in your audit file in a range of areas. Firstly, the working trial balance, and the upload of the trial balance from BGL dynamically generates a trial balance that is fully mapped within your audit file containing both your current year and your prior year comparatives. It also provides all of the lead schedules that have been mapped there and a classification there in the type column for financial reporting. So if I click on my drop down here under working trial balance, I can see that I've got both a profit and loss as well as a balance sheet view that are generated within the audit file. If I toggle accounts there and just open that balance sheet, you can see that we've got a very detailed balance sheet that's been created in your audit file based on the trial balance, and every line item in this balance sheet, and the P&L for that matter, are linked, hyperlinked through to lead schedules within the working paper index. So stage one, I've created a very detailed, fully mapped trial balance as well as P&L and balance sheet view in the audit file. Secondly, if we go to the working paper index, the trial balance upload creates a number of financial folders within the working paper index. So our original audit file that we created before we uploaded a trial balance had our A and B folders, as well as our review points, journal entries, permanent files, example letters and reports. And all of these folders from C through to I, income, expenses, etc., have all been generated based on the trial balance. Further, if I open one of these folders, I can see that all the lead schedules have also been dynamically generated into the file and populated. If I open my shares and listed companies lead schedule, and we can see that the shares and listed companies are all listed there within this lead schedule, and from BGL we've brought in current prior year values as well as the quantity of shares held, and this enables us to calculate a market price within the lead schedule, still to be verified by you at this point, but one of the items on our roadmap in terms of integration moving forward is utilising the direct data feeds to be able to provide a dynamic verification of both price and quantities on these investments as well directly into the audit file and mark them accordingly. But at this point, there's a range of tools that are available to you within Auditflow for you to be able to complete your substantive audit work. Firstly, we can upload supporting documents directly into these lead schedules. So any documents that we have contained in a folder, we can drag and drop those documents directly into our audit file. So we simply need to grab hold of the document and we can drag it and drop it into our lead schedule and upload it. We may wish to apply a document to a range of items within our lead schedule. We can select the entire lead schedule, or we can select certain items and upload a document and link it to those selected items. So it will reference into the reference column in our lead schedule, place a copy of that document into your audit file, into the appropriate folder. In this case, it will be the assets folder. We can then apply tick marks. If we click into the tick marks column, we've got a range of standard tick marks that are available within Auditflow, customizable by the firm for you to apply your audit tick marks. If we hover over these tick marks, we can see their descriptions. And then the third tool that we have available within these lead schedule is comments. So we can enter comments against the selected items. We can actually enter as many comments as we need to into these lead schedules, and they will all be referenced into the lead schedules. And if we come to the bottom of the lead schedule, we can see the summary of those comments. So some very, very good tools there for us to be able to create our comments, verification and referencing within the lead schedules. If I come back to our working paper index and open the assets folder, I can see that those supporting documents have been uploaded into my assets folder. I can also drag and drop my supporting documents directly into a folder if I wish. Okay, so just a brief look there at the tools available for you to deal with the lead schedules that are all dynamically generated within the audit file from a financial audit perspective. From a compliance audit perspective, if we just have a look into our planning, and if we look at our planning folder, we've got a number of work papers contained within the planning folder, including our materiality, preliminary analytical procedures, as well as our risk assessment work papers, which are also dynamically generated and populated with data from the trial balance that we've imported directly from BGL. So we can see in our materiality, we can enter our materiality levels, we can add our benchmarks, and we can see how the information and the data populates directly into these work papers from the BGL trial balance upload. So preliminary analytical procedures, once again, set your materiality tolerance levels, and the work papers are dynamically generated. And similarly for your risk assessment work paper, where we can generate that based off the lead schedule or the lead schedule summary information. And it dynamically generates and populates into the work paper, all adding up to a very streamlined process for the auditor to work through the audit completion process, combined with a range of tools enabling you to create review points, journal entries, and also communicate between the auditor and the administrator using our administration portal. Now, in terms of the integration and the upload process, what that does for the audit file, really that's what I wanted to show you within the application today, and just show you how that connection with BGL, the efficiencies that can be gained by uploading the trial balance and having all of that data flow through to your audit file. Now, in terms of Auditflow, if anybody would like to follow up with further in regards to Auditflow product, please contact us at either sales@auditflow.com, support@auditflow.com, or you can phone us on 07555500101. You'll find also a lot of information about Auditflow on our website, www.auditflow.com. So I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank you very much for your participation in today's webinar, and also thank you, Daniel, for your co-presentation of the webinar today. Now, I'm sure that some of you will have some questions that you'd like to pose to us, and Daniel and I will both be staying on the webinar for a little while, and we're more than happy to answer any questions that you'd like to put to us via the chat window. Okay, so just a question there in terms of can we update on an ongoing basis client or fund details into Auditflow under the new once the new integration is in place? And the answer to that is yes. That once Auditflow and BGL 360 are fully integrated, you'll be able to upload your fund details into Auditflow at any time. Okay, a couple of questions there from people on the webinar today about is it possible to trial the software, Auditflow software, prior to purchase? And the answer is that yes, we have a range of options available for you to have a a closer inspection of our Auditflow software. So we will certainly be following up with you prior to post the webinar today to discuss that. So thanks for that question. All right, Daniel, I think that looks like all the questions that we're going to have posed to us today. So once again, thanks everybody for your attendance. Thanks, Daniel, and we look forward to chatting you about the partnership of Auditflow with BGL on an ongoing basis, and when we follow up with you post today's webinar. So thanks very much again for your attendance.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Daniel.
Bye-bye.